one of your philosophy is once you master a dish, once you get it right, you're not going to do that anymore.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Why?
You have a vision of how you want this painting to be, and the day that you finish it, you finish it.
You have restaurants in many different places, but what are some of the restaurants that you have now that you can tell us about? Can we check out some of them, the different restaurants?
Here's Bincho. So in front of the restaurant, it's actually two different concepts. Daytimes we have Chinese noodle.
Okay.
And fishball soup.
Oh, so it's casual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very casual.
All right.
And at the nighttime, we have a Japanese yakitori.
Oh.
Yeah. And then at the back of the yakitori, have a Japanese whiskey bar.
Okay.
So you got like three things in one roll. It's a narrow shop house.
Uh-huh. Where is this?
In Singapore.
Ah. All right. And then what else we have?
The bridge.
The bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Chengdu.
This is in Chengdu?
Just in Chengdu.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was there when I think you guys had a collaboration, and then the chef or somebody came to Taiwan, and then you guys did a thing.
Oh yes, yes,
in a
yes,
restaurant,
yes,
right? So
yes.
so we hung out with the staff from Chengdu as well.
Yes.
But I've never been there. It was, and obviously since the pandemic, I haven't been able to travel as much.
It's amazing. It's an amazing place. So we literally built the restaurant on the 400-year-old bridge.
Wow.
And it's the iconic spot for Chengdu.
Ah, and what kind of food is served there?
Sichuanese.
But I mean, this has got to be something of a challenge to you, though. I mean, you brought up, or your training was mostly Western. And this is very much on the extreme other end of the spectrum.
But you know what, Dennis? I started to cook since I was 13.
Yeah.
My mom was a Chinese chef.
Okay.
So I actually started Chinese cuisine since the age of 13, and I spent 2 years in Japan, work with my mom. So actually I started in Chinese cuisine before I get into French cooking.
Okay. So your mom's cooking. I mean, does that how did that influence you?
I guess that was the only one that allowed to be in the kitchen, the only kid that allowed to be in the kitchen.
So was your mom what, like one of those really strict, this is my turf, you can't?
Yes.
Really? She's like that as well,
She's
at
like
home?
that, yes.
So that's where you got it from?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then so that's how I started. So in fact, I'm not so disconnected to a Chinese cuisine or Chinese cooking, because that's the first thing that I work with.
But that, but that's something I was curious. I wanted to ask you, because I saw it in your movie of André.
In Singapore.
And obviously, this is I can imagine it for many top chefs, right? It's got to be perfect. Everything's got to be precise. I mean, I see you guys measuring the tablecloth, the spaces between everything, and your quote was, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be my way, and it's got to be done. That's it.
Yes.
That translates well if you're a world-renowned chef, but as a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old, you must have been a tough kid to deal with.
It is.
I mean,
it is. But I grew up with it. I grew up in the kitchen. I grew up in my mom's kitchen. So for me, you just think that's the way it is. That's the world. Supposed to be like this. Everything has to be in order, and I never do other job.
But does it transcend into other things? I mean, it must in your everyday life. I mean, in your bathroom, does your toothbrush have to be a certain way, and your toilet paper needs to be rolled in a certain way? That must drive your wife crazy.
Kind of.
So you're like that with everything else as well?
Yeah, I like neat stuff. I like things.
Okay, all right. Couple more, right? What's the next restaurant?
Zen.
Okay, and Zen. Where is this?
Scandinavian. Scandinavian cuisine.
Where is it located?
Singapore.
It's also in Singapore.
And then this one is exactly where the previous restaurant André site.
Oh, okay. So you changed it up a little bit.
Yes.
And you decided to do this. What is Scandinavian cuisine?
Scandinavian cuisine from Sweden, Norway, Denmark,
Wow.
Finland,
Okay.
More of a Northern Europe.
Yeah. I heard from someone that one of your philosophy is once you master a dish, once you get it right, you're not going to do that anymore.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Why?
If you really see all your creation as an art piece, and then every day you work on that painting, right? Or a sculpture, whatever. The day that is complete is the day that you stop. And you're not gonna forget it, you're just gonna finish it, you sign your name and you put it on the wall, and you say, I'm gonna start another painting. And for me, that's, you keep the best picture. You're not gonna work on the same painting all year long and then all your life for that one painting, right? Wow. You have a vision of how you want this painting to be, and the day that you finish it, you finish it.
Yeah.
And that's how you want it. And you know, even until today, after 10 years, we still have guests told me about how amazing the experience they were at Restaurant André in Singapore 10 years ago. And then that's great.
Ah.
Yeah, and then we can move on. We create a new experience and new memories for our guests.
Wow. In a sense, that means then your work is never done. Because when you're done, you go and do something else.
Yes.
Wow. So Jim, so in that sense, you could throw that saxophone away. I think I think you're done, right?
Get a flute.
Get a flute.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, right? I mean, you've been playing that thing forever. It's time to move on.
Yes,
right?
it's getting all kind of mildewy, and yeah, I should get another one here.
You know, I get that feeling when I go to the gym. This is kind of embarrassing. I go to the gym. I can't stand those people that are in shape, that are like they're huge. And you know, I'm trying to in there, you know, just trying to not get hurt. And I see them, I'm just like, you're done. You can go home now. You don't need to work out anymore.
Yeah, you're too perfect to be in the space.
But this is a real thing for a master chef like you. That's amazing. Last but not least, we have to check out the one that's in Taipei. That's raw behind us right now. And this one, it's just gorgeous. You know, even walking in, even the bar, even the counter, it's an art piece. You're like sitting inside of an art piece. That's how I felt. Tell our audience, you know, a little bit about Raw Taipei.
Raw for me, we started 8 years ago, and for me, Raw is really a gift for Taiwan. We really don't have enough international brand or a platform as a restaurant to introduce what we have in Taiwan. So we created Raw. Everything that you see in there, whether it's coffee or tea or sculpture or the painting on the wall, it's all from Taiwan, anything that you point. Raw was the first restaurant that served 100% Taiwanese ingredient.
Ah, okay.
At that time,
yeah.
8 years ago.
Okay.
So, which means that 8 years before, even a Chinese restaurant in Taiwan, they don't serve 100% Taiwanese
Ingredients, right.
And then coming back from France, I thought that this is so important, right? How do we introduce ourselves? Someone's gonna taste the potato or the artichoke from Taiwan, or even a beef or a slice of fish, and they say, wow, this is so good, where does it come from? And we can tell them exactly where they come from. And on this island that we have so many things to showcase.
Right.
And that was the intention.
Okay.
So that's Raw.
Well, I got to tell you, this place is absolutely amazing. You guys haven't tried it yet? You gotta try it. What's the reservation like?
3 months ahead.
About 3 months ahead?
Yes.
Yeah, and normally you can. I've left my number with you a couple of times. You always tell me, like, if somebody cancels, I'll call you. Never got a call. Ever. Nobody ever called me. You said that so many times to me. Nobody ever called me back.
Yeah, it's complicated.
It is hard to get a seat there, but trust me, it's worth the wait. I heard that you carry this with you around all the time.
Yes.
And you would jot things down.
I just draw.
Also, these are ideas of dishes.
I'm a very visual person.
Uh-huh.
So I never write a single recipe. I created thousands of recipes, but I never write any one of them. They all look like this.